I'm sure that you've been troubled by narcissists, but do you know that there are ways that can 1000% devastate them? And we will talk about it in this video. Let's begin. The first thing that surely devastates a narcissist is being ignored and rejected. Let me ask you this. Do you know some people who always want to be the center of attention? Well, that's what we call narcissists. Ta-da! They really need people to notice them and tell them how great they are. But here's the thing. When they don't get that attention, or when someone says, "No thanks, I don't want to be around you," it really hurts them deep down. Imagine your best friend suddenly saying they don't want to hang out with you anymore. That's how it feels for them. It makes them feel like they're not good enough, like they're worthless. And that feeling is so strong. It's like a storm inside them, tossing everything around. So, when narcissists feel left out or told they're not wanted, it's like a punch straight to their heart. They just can't handle feeling like they're not important or special. It's tough for them to deal with, and it can mess them up big time. Next, a narcissist will also feel devastate when they receive criticisms and humiliations. You know how some people always seem to have something negative to say about others? Well, those people might be what we call narcissists. They love to criticize others, but when it comes to receiving criticism themselves, they just can't handle it. Listen closely. When a narcissist hears criticisms about them, narcissists will go mad about it. They go crazy and ask who said that criticism and how other people react to it. It's like they have this shield of confidence, but when someone points out their flaws, it's like that shield disappears. Even if the criticism is meant to help them improve, it still feels like a punch in the gut to them. And if it happens in front of other people, like getting called out in public, it's even worse. It's like their whole world of being perfect falls apart right in front of everyone. They work so hard to keep up this image of being better than everyone else. So when that image gets shattered, it's like they're left standing there naked for everyone to see. It's a tough pill for them to swallow, and it can really mess with their heads. Number 3. Narcissists feel lost when they lose control. Narcissists feel the need to be in control of everything and everyone around them. But here's the thing. Life doesn't always go the way they want it to. Sometimes, they'll face situations where they just can't control what's happening, like if they mess up at work or if their plan to manipulate someone falls flat. And when that happens, it's like their whole world gets flipped upside down. They get so worked up and stressed out because they're not used to things not going their way. It's like a wake-up call that they're not as powerful as they thought they were. And for someone who's used to pulling all the strings, that realization can be pretty scary. It's like they're suddenly adrift in a sea of uncertainty, and it's a tough pill for them to swallow. Fourth, narcissists will be mad when they feel empathy and compassion. Listen to this. Narcissists are not big on showing empathy or compassion towards others. But when someone does show them genuine kindness and understanding, it's like a game changer for them. It's like they've never experienced anything like it before, and it catches them off guard. Because deep down, they believe they're better than everyone else. So when someone comes along and treats others with kindness, it's like a slap in the face to their ego. They start to question whether they're really as great as they think they are. And that can stir up a whole bunch of messy feelings inside them, like jealousy and anger. It's like they're torn between wanting to be better than everyone else and feeling envious of those who are genuinely caring. It's a real roller coaster of emotions for them to deal with. Fifth, exposure of lies and deception. Always remember this. Narcissists are masters at spinning tales and bending the truth to make themselves look flawless. But here's the kicker. Eventually, the truth catches up with them. Whether it's in their personal life or at work, when their lies get uncovered, it's like their whole world comes crashing down. They work so hard to make everyone think they're perfect. So when people find out they've been deceiving them, it's a huge blow. It's like all their efforts to maintain this facade of perfection were for nothing. And the worst part? They have to face the fact that people see through their actions. It's like being stripped bare in front of everyone, and the shame and embarrassment can be overwhelming. It's a harsh reality check for them, and it can take a serious toll on their self-esteem. Next, this will absolutely make narcissists cry. Loss of admiration and adulation. Let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who just can't get enough compliments? That's what we're talking about with narcissists. They thrive on people telling them how amazing they are because deep down, they're not so sure themselves. So when they come across someone who doesn't buy into their act or who sees through their tricks, it's like a punch to the gut. They rely so much on other people's praise to feel good about themselves that when they don't get it, they start to doubt their own worth. It's like all the air gets sucked out of their balloon of self-esteem. They feel empty and lost, like they're wandering around in the dark without a flashlight. And that feeling of not being good enough, it's like a never-ending itch they just can't scratch. So they go searching for new people to shower them with compliments, hoping to fill that void inside them. But no matter how many people tell them they're great, it never feels like enough. It's a tough cycle for them to break, and it leaves them constantly chasing after validation they can never truly find. Lastly, a slap of reality. Narcissists live in this fantasy where they're the star of the show, and everyone else is just there to applaud them. But here's the kicker. Life doesn't always play along with their fantasy. Sometimes, they have to face the music and deal with the consequences of their actions. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. When reality comes crashing down on them, it's like a bucket of cold water to the face. Suddenly, they have to confront the fact that they're not as perfect as they thought they were. It's like looking in a mirror and seeing all their flaws staring back at them. And let me tell you, it's not a pretty sight. They feel this overwhelming sense of shame and inadequacy, like they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. It's a harsh wake-up call for them, and it forces them to come to terms with their own shortcomings. But let me tell you, it's not an easy pill for them to swallow. While narcissists may project an image of invincibility, they are not immune to the impact of certain situations or actions. Ignored and rejected, criticized and humiliated, and confronted with the reality of their own limitations, narcissists can experience devastating blows to their fragile self-esteem. By understanding these triggers, individuals can better navigate interactions with narcissists and protect themselves from their manipulative tactics.